one of the largest worldwide audiences of the Tour de France. Over the 21 days, professional cyclists will ride close to 4,500 kilometers over terrain that includes steep climbs over mountains and downhill drops reaching speeds of 100 kilometers per hour. Cycling enthusiasts that watch this race are not only interested in the competition, they are also interested in viewing the latest road bicycles that enable a human to reach and maintain speeds of 50 to 55 kilometers per hour over a flat road surface. Think about what goes into creating these super fast road bicycles. What inputs do companies like Specialized and Giant use to create their bikes? There is the carbon fiber for the frame, metals for the chain and gears, and rubber for the wheels. There are technicians and engineers that design and create new models each year. There is the money required to run the company and machinery to make the bikes. These inputs are called factors of production. The factors of production are labor, capital, technology, entrepreneurship, and natural resources. In this module, you will learn about these inputs and labor in particular. You will also learn about the distribution of income. So learning objectives by the end of this module, you should be able to answer these questions, describe what determines the wages paid to workers, explain what the impact of hiring an additional worker does for revenue, describe what the shapes of labor demand and supply curves are, describe why labor unions exist and how they impact wages and productivity, explain what the trend in income distribution has been, and explain why there is inequality in income distribution. So read the course calendar, watch this video by Khan Academy, that's very effective. Also, Child Poverty in Canada, watch that video. And then reflect on the material learned and complete the exercises in the chapter, complete assignment 2 and 9 tab. So labor markets and distribution of income. So why do basketball players make more money than hockey players? Why do hockey players make more money than scientists trying to rid the world of disease? So the answer for this is based on the demand for what these people produce. So basketball players produce a product for which there's more demand than the product produced by hockey players. Do hockey players therefore produce a product in more demand than the product scientists use to produce to cure diseases? So based on the difference in salary, the consumer demand for hockey is greater than the consumer demand for cures diseases. So there's many different things about the command and market system, but here in a pure command system, one could argue that if government needed bricklayers to build infrastructure, then talented athletes might not be able to live their dreams, becoming construction workers instead of high jumpers, downhill skiers, or soccer players. On the other hand, in the market system, people are free to choose their occupation. However, the reality of the market curbs that freedom. So, yeah. And then monopoly is a single seller of a product. A monopsony is a single buyer of a product. As manufacturing moves out of North America, Canada and the US are dealing with the decline of monopsonies, particularly in small towns. A clear example of a monopsony is the existence of a single employer, or the employer of most citizens within a local vicinity. A large manufacturing company situated in a town where 80% of the adults work for a company is a monopsony. Labor unions. So it is common to hear about labor unions in the news when a collective bargaining process is occurring between management and its worker representatives. A unionized worker wants the union to negotiate the highest wage and level of benefits possible. Ultimately, there is a reality of the supply versus the demand for labor and the resulting equilibrium wage that unions cannot ignore. Labor unions therefore restrict supply in industries to maintain a higher equilibrium wage. So the question then arises, if a higher wage is being paid, shouldn't a higher level of service or productivity be expected? Labor unions, by providing means for workers to rectify unpleasant work situations by providing more security, results in less turnover. That reduced turnover results in a more experienced group of laborers that should attain a higher level of productivity than a group of laborers with higher turnover. So Canada's income distribution has remained relatively stable since 1951. So there has been a slight rise to the proportion of income distributed to the top quintile. And the middle class is shrinking. So poverty is a big issue. In order to solve it, there could be policies put into place to help people out of work or in unfortunate situations to get back on their feet. And the government programs are out there to help people with cost of living. So a larger proportion of this is paid by the higher taxes paid by those who have more. If the rich were not taxed as high and these programs did not exist, what would be the result of people not getting help when they need help? there would certainly be an increase in crime. So with an increase in crime comes an increase in costs for policing, legal formalities, and jails. So who will pay for that? Those that have more will, in that case. Learning activities. So I recommend doing the textbook questions and check your answers against solutions at the back of the text. Work through the mind tap activities and complete assignment 3. Summary. So you've learned about the factors of production and particularly labor. As input market, you have learned about the price of labor and effective labor unions. This lesson also discussed the distribution of income and property in Canada. So make sure to do assignment 3. So the objective of the assignment is to assess your understanding of the price elasticity of demand, the price elasticity of supply, to calculate each and to apply these concepts to real world scenarios. In addition to the above, the assessment will determine your ability to calculate and interpret various costs of production, analyze and illustrate a monopoly firm to explain its behavior, analyze and illustrate a competitive firm to explain its production behavior, evaluate and illustrate the impact of price controls in the workplace, analyze and illustrate the impact of tax in the economic marketplace. So that's assignment 3. So make sure to just follow the guidelines, and that's the key to being successful. Just follow the guidelines, and you will